Yo, what's up? This is episode 32, live recording of my podcast, Client by Client. Welcome in. Cold Brew Gang, if you're here and you're in the house, you've had your cold brew coffee today, you know what to do. Drop some flames in the comments below. Drop some fire. We're going to have a good time here today. In a little less than 45 seconds, we're going to be talking about one-on-one versus group coaching, talking about the pros, cons of both. Which should you do? Where should your focus be? Is one-on-one better than group? Is group better than one-on-one? We're going to talk all about it and open up this box. And that way, at the end of it, you can decide where you are going to put your time, where you're going to put your energy, where you're going to really kind of rally behind, and what makes the most sense for you and your business. So thanks so much for being here. For those of you who've been leaving ratings and reviews, it means a whole lot. So thank you so much. If you're getting value from the show, head to podcast, search Client by Client, or search Jeremy Montoya. That's my name, and that will come up for you. That said, let's hop in and bring this to life. Have a student call at the top of the next hour. So get client students, a little more than 30 minutes. We're going to get this going and get this show on the road. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get into today's episode, let's talk about what happened and what went down in episode 31 in the last episode of Client by Client. And what I shared with you is 6 lessons, 6 things I wish I knew at the beginning of my online coaching journey, that if I only knew these things, my journey would have been smoother, faster, my path towards impacting more lives, having more clients, earning more revenue would have been much more of a straight shot and much more inclining on the graph. And so I just shared these things with you so that in hopes that you can avoid some of these pitfalls, learn some of the lessons that I've gotten to internalize over the last 10 years of my journey, and maybe install them into the beginning of yours so that you can really more quickly help more people, change more lives, earn more revenue, and just grow your online coaching business. So be sure to backtrack to episode 31 to check that out. In today's episode, what we're doing is the old classic showdown. If you guys recall, a few episodes back, we went and we pitted Facebook groups against email lists. And that episode, I had this up yesterday. Let's see. That went live today. So if you guys recall, episode 23, which goes live at the time of this recording on the 17th, we recorded that back on the 4th. If you recall, we put Facebook groups against email list building back in episode 23. So if you're at all wondering if you should be starting a group or an email list, neither, both, be sure to backtrack to episode 23. And we're going to carry that into today's episode. And today, our showdown is going to be about one-on-one coaching versus group coaching. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of both, and then you can extrapolate and figure out which one makes the most sense for you. I think it goes without saying that the most common form of online coaching, both at the infancy of coaching and still today, is one-on-one coaching. And I think that that is the precedence because everyone starting out always thinks that one-on-one is easier than groups. There's no one I know that enters group coaching that enters online coaching without a major influence that starts out with and thinks that doing it in groups is easier. It's just common that we are going to think that one-on-one is the way to start and maybe the only thing that's out there. And for I think a lot of you guys, group coaching feels like it's something that's on the horizon, something way further out, and something that you might not be ready for yet. Maybe by the end of today's episode, you will have a little bit of a difference of opinion, but maybe not. So let's start by talking about one-on-one, and then we'll go into groups. Like I said, I think it's the most common form of coaching still these days. And I think that a lot of people sell themselves short in comparison to a group program. But when you think about one-on-one from the prospect perspective, from the people in your market that you're trying to sell to, one-on-one is typically seen as more valuable. That anytime you have one-on-one attention from someone, it feels like you're going to get more. And this is probably because when we think about therapy, counseling, when we think about any other situation, one-on-one is always deemed as more valuable and might even be more expensive, or might be the only option that you have. And because privacy matters, and because maybe you think that you're a special case in whatever that situation is, and maybe it is growing your business, one-on-one is typically going to be seen as more valuable. And while it's seen as more valuable, I would like to make the case that it might not always be. In fact, I think in times it might be less valuable. And I think that the main reason why in 2023, at the time of this recording, why it is seen as more valuable by most of your market is because you are making it seen and seem that it is more valuable. And you are doing things to make it sound like and seem like one-on-one coaching is the best thing, is the only thing. And it's probably because it's the thing that you're selling. And you might think that people in your market deem a group or a membership style program, or a not one-to-one, a one-to-many style program, as less valuable because there's less time and attention. So the first thing is, I think that it is seen as more valuable, but to the contrary, I think that when you sell one-on-one coaching, you're going to tee it up and set it up to be seen as more valuable and to hold more value, in the hopes that more people sign up, and that when they sign up, they pay more, but they also get more value. So I think there's reasons why. And I think it makes sense that if you're selling one-on-one, that's the thing that you're kind of preaching from the treetops. Now, the downside, when we think about the downside, is that while your prospect wins because it's one person at a time, you kind of lose because it's one person at a time. There's only so much time in the day for you to run your online coaching business. And this is also why, in the model that I teach and preach, is that delivery is down at the bottom, because it's the foundation of your online business. You have to first figure out who it is you're marketing to, who the offer is for, and what's inside of it, in order to understand what you're going to deliver. Then you go and get leads, then you make sales, and then you're back down to the bottom of the pyramid of the triangle, because you went to leads on the left, and then you converted those leads into prospects, and you close them into sales on the convert side, on the right side of the triangle. So now we're down back at the bottom at the foundation. And so when you think about what you're delivering, if you engineer one-on-one into that delivery, well, you're going to be delivering one-on-one when you go and get a client. And while I think that makes sense, I think it deserves to be restated and for you to be reminded, because everything starts with your thought. Everything starts with the offer that you put together. And so if you're putting this together and you're doing it one person at a time, you're really setting an imbalance up, because your prospects, your clients, really win when they get one-on-one coaching. They get one-on-one dedicated time, no other distractions, just you, them, their questions, and their results. At the same time as they win, to the equal and opposite side, you lose, because you can't be helping other people during that time. Not only can you not be serving other clients at that time, you can't be nurturing prospects, you can't be running the business, you can't be working on the business, let alone in the business, if you're stuck in delivery. And so many coaches don't understand this, because to deliver one-on-one to 1, 2, 3, or 4 clients is not that big of a deal. But when you start thinking about 5, 8, 10, 12, 20 clients, which is on the horizon for you, should you stay down this path, and should you be following the show and the things I teach you, it gets really hard to teach one-on-one. And what ends up happening is that you wind up with another day job. So to the equal amount that your clients win swings to the other side, and you don't win, you lose. And you lose out on that time that you can be spending in front of other prospects, in front of other clients, and working in your business, as well as, more importantly, on your business. And when you're delivering your program around the clock, it really makes that not possible, and it really takes away from those things. And so one of the reasons why people will switch from one-on-one to group is because they start to notice that delivering takes a lot of time. And when you are talking with your clients, they probably have questions that all of your other clients have, and that you can be getting the same answers to, and maybe pulling even better, deeper questions if there were more people in front of you. But because you're delivering one-on-one, you're kind of stuck. So the pros are that it is seen as more valuable, that you get to give personal attention to someone and they really win, but also you lose. And you also lose that time being able to deliver to other people, working in your business and on your business, like I've said, but also because one-on-one doesn't scale. Now, there are a few of you listening that have other coaches underneath you on your team, or maybe you're the coach of someone else's business. One-on-one can scale with a big team, but it's not everyone's goal to have a big team. It might not be your goal to have other coaches in your business. In fact, me saying that right now might be the first time you even thought about the possibility of there being someone else to deliver your coaching. So there are different goals for different folks. But one-on-one, when you are the solopreneur and when you are delivering the goods in your business, which sometimes coaching is the last thing to get outsourced or delegated, it really doesn't scale, and therefore it's not sustainable. So one-on-one is great for many reasons. Your clients get dedicated personal attention without distractions. And sometimes for you as the coach, being able to deliver your program in a one-on-one fashion is also great, because you get to test out new theories, help someone implement it, understand what questions that person may have, and give a little bit of focus. So before we go into group coaching and talk about the pros and cons of that, I think it's important that I also say that while I don't advocate for my students to start with one-on-one, all of my students start in a fashion where they can get one client, but also if they get another, they can deliver in a group fashion and it not have to be this thing that you undo. A lot of coaches come my way, they're delivering one-on-one. I tell them to start setting up the necessary components to run a group program, and they don't really know what to do. And what this all comes down to, and the big difference in between selling one-on-one versus selling group coaching, it's all in your positioning. It's all in what you say. It's all in what you highlight as the value. And so if you're doing one-on-one coaching, all this does is change the conversation you're having right before someone becomes a client. And it starts to tee up that there is a group component and a community component, and you can still be delivering one-on-one. One-on-one is also how I got my start. But the way I teed it up is that, hey, this program, it's going to be one-on-one and me and you working together for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, whatever it was at the time. But I also have a community where you're going to be around others. So you're going to be getting one-on-one time from me, or this many sessions back when I was selling by the session or selling by the week. And then you also have this community. So if you're doing one-on-one right now, or you're considering going to group, all this does is change a little bit of what you're teeing up as value. And you start to add value around this community and this other place that they can go and post their questions and get help in between their one-on-one sessions and to share their insights to learn even faster. And so it all comes down to what you're teeing up, what you're positioning as the value that's going to change what your prospects and your clients, therefore, perceive as the value. So I got my start in one-on-one, but these days, while I'm not completely against you having a one-on-one component, I am way more of a fan of you selling it as a group and trying that out. And if you are going to sell one-on-one, that you still have a group component as an additional piece. And what you'll end up finding is what I find is that many of my students and many of those students who are hybrid one-on-one and group will end up getting more value from the group stuff as long as you're doing a good enough job of positioning it. So that's one-on-one. Let's now talk about group coaching. How one-on-one is seen as more valuable, I think it's most common that we think that group coaching is going to be seen as less valuable. And it is seen as less valuable because a lot of coaches are charging, $10K for a one-on-one package, and then they have a downsell for a low ticket offer into a membership site, or they have a membership site that you go into once you graduate from the one-on-one. Again, this all comes down to positioning. So it can be seen as, and it can be perceived as less valuable, but that all comes down to what you're saying and how you are positioning this to your prospects and to your clients. So yes, it is typically seen as less valuable, but I think that you can make it become more valuable and all of the value that your clients get if you do things the right way. Group program versus one-on-one is going to be more of a one-to-many solution. And the idea is that, and the way I tee this up is that all ships rise in a high tide. Just like my free group, in my group coaching program, in the Get Clients program, everything is done in groups. And I'm going to get back to that here in a second. Everything is done in groups. And so the way it works is there's a curriculum that you can go through, a little bit of an academy, so to say, that you can go through that has all of my expertise already documented in video, step-by-step form, with worksheets, with other people's questions and other people's thoughts and insights inside of it. And so when you get in, you don't have to wait for me to deliver it, which is such a big advantage for many of your clients, is that your clients need to wait for their first one-on-one session to come around when you're selling one-on-one, versus group, when done my way, which is having a documented curriculum library that starts as a core framework and then starts to grow from there as your coaching business grows. That way you don't have too much time to have to make all of this. And if you recall back to episode 1, where I share with you how to run your group coaching program in only a couple hours every week, it really comes down to delivering your expertise live, editing it, and then posting it in a place where others can watch it. You can do this one-on-one and then just post the recordings, or you can do this in a way where you deliver it one-on-one or you record it on your own, and then it goes into a curriculum library in a Facebook group or in a Teachable, a Kajabi, whatever you're using. I use a Facebook group, and then all your curriculum is inside of there. So it's one-to-many, so that when you join the Get Clients program, I'm going to show you exactly where to go and the first thing to do in order to start getting results. And then you can come to our Wednesday calls where we do Q&A, where I share new things that I'm learning and trying out in my business and share the results, and where you can check in for accountability, get your next action steps, hear what questions other coaches are asking that are at the exact same step, learning the exact same and implementing the exact same things as you in my program. And then you are going to be hearing questions that you might not have thought of. You're going to be hearing wins from others who just implemented it. And that's going to get you excited to get onto what you're working on now, to get on to work on the next piece of your online business. So one-to-many has so many advantages. And the way I recommend doing it is having a portal that people can log into, where you have an ever-growing library of content, and you have a group call on your calendar that everyone can go to. They know the day and time through Zoom, and they can log in, get questions answered, or just be around others and get accountability. Some some of my students, many of them come and don't ask a question at all, but you can check in on them, see how they're doing, give them their next action steps, get your next action steps, and then move on. And then you have the group there to go and post your questions, post your insights, post the things that you learned. And I think that when you do that, you learn faster because you're kind of teaching and you're doing the learn out loud method we talked about yesterday, the document versus creating, the working in public, showing your work method. And when in comparison to one-on-one where the prospect in comparison to one-on-one where the client really wins and you kind of don't win nearly as much, in a group program, everybody wins. Your clients win because they get the coaching that they're wanting. Your clients win because they get access, unfettered access to the curriculum library without needing you to be there, without needing you to deliver the goods to them. So they can go and access it around the clock whenever. And if your clients are anything like mine, they have families, some of them have jobs, some of them have kids, some of them have other things going on, or they're not wanting to be working on their business around the clock all day or able to, like I am, and like I have the motivation to on some days, more so in the earlier parts of my journey. And they want to be able to create an epic life and live that epic life while they're building their business. So they want to be doing all the time, and they want to live life on their own terms. And so that's easier for them because they have a spot on their calendar they know to come to for the group calls, and they know exactly where to go to get exactly what they need to do next in their online business. And when that happens, you win as a coach because you have your clients learning on their own, sharing their lessons and insights with others. Others get to see the questions that they're asking, and then you also don't become the only person, the pivot point of the whole program, is that they can have an accountability buddy, a friend they really get along with in the program, a friend maybe they refer to in the program to be learning with and to be held accountable to. So you go from being the sole person they depend on to having a whole community of people. And when that happens, everyone wins versus just the client winning. And then also there is kind of a third form of delivering coaching, which is in a course where there's no coaching at all and there's only curriculum. And that is a situation where it's the opposite of one-on-one, where the coach really wins, but the student, the client really doesn't because they don't have access. They can't get their questions asked. They don't really have a community to go and get support and help around. And if they did have a community, that community is just as dejected or is in the exact same boat as them without access to the coach, without access to any of those things. So and in that sense, the coach really wins because as the owner of the business and the maker of the curriculum, you have the opportunity to make passive income. You're not needed for any sort of delivering of the coaching at all during the week or at all one-on-one, one-on-one or in group, and you really win. And you're able to sell it at a little bit of a lower ticket because there's less value. And so you really win, but the client in your market really doesn't. But I don't even want to cover that, and I didn't include that for many reasons, but I think it is worth sharing that the third way is through delivering a course, but in that situation, only the coach wins and the clients and the members don't really. So one-on-one and group really has more of the win for the clients, which I'm a fan of. But when it comes to group, you win too because you only have to show up once a week to actually deliver it. And therefore, group coaching in and of itself can scale. And when you turn it into a little bit of a windmill, to use the Sam Ovens and many other nowadays lingo, and you turn this into a perpetual machine that your clients love, can't stop telling the world about, and their friends come in and you don't have to go and do more marketing, and with every person that joins your program gets better, this is what happens. And the beauty of a group coaching program is that everyone wins. You win as the coach because you're not needed for delivery around the clock. Your clients win because they can consume your curriculum whenever they're able to in their own day, and they still get coaching and get to experience a community where all ships rise in a high tide. And therefore, group coaching in and of itself scales. And when you do it right, you get to do less marketing, and the group gets better with every new client that you add in because that new client is going to have different questions, different insights, and different perspectives to add to the group. And all ships rise in that high tide. So what's better between one-on-one or group? Guys, I'm a fan of group coaching, but I will say this, is that there have been times where I've been way more strict in my business and with my students that you don't do any one-on-one, but I think there is a time and a place to offer one-on-one in addition to the group, where you sell the group coaching, but you add on a bonus of one-on-one, or you add a higher, more expensive level of a package that includes some one-on-one in addition to the group, but you still focus on them being in the group, them coming to the group calls, and them consuming the curriculum inside of there. And they can, if they can afford it and they want more support, they can add that on, and then you win because you're able to charge more, hopefully double, and you only have to show up for 4, 6, or 8 sessions or for a certain amount of time. And if you rig it in a way, you could also make this unlimited through a certain step and process that they take that allows for them to unlock that one-on-one. So guys, between one-on-one and group, I think the group coaching wins hands down. And if you only delivering one-on-one and don't have a group style program, this is your kick in the pants to start moving towards group and doing that with your next prospects, AKA your next clients, teeing up the value around the group, getting your other clients in that group as well, getting them used to it, and then maybe them trading in a one-on-one session for coming to the group and participating there. That's an easy way to transition it. And there's some more positioning that we can talk about if you guys are interested in what it does take to go from one-on-one to group. So we can cover that down the road. If you're interested, you can always let me know by finding me on Instagram at whatupjeremy or leaving a comment wherever you're finding the show. And you can let me know if that would be helpful. We could talk about the process for actually switching from one-on-one to group. In the next episode of Client by Client, I'm going to be breaking down for you the 4 daily habits for successful online coaches. That if you only do and focus on these 4 things, it's going to make everything easier, better, and your business will be more likely to grow in and of its own accord. And you end up with the lion's share of clients having to do less marketing and less hustle, and also have the peace and calm and be able to just live and create an epic life along the way. So be sure to come back and check in for tomorrow's episode to hear the 4 daily habits for successful online coaches. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online business. Coaches, if you're still managing your pipeline from the Instagram DM, from Facebook Messenger, and from your email inbox, you're losing sales and you're losing leads between the cracks. And it's why I created GetBookedCRM. It helps you not only get leads, but turn them into clients in half the time. To get your free copy, while it's still free, all you have to do is drop the letters CRM wherever you're finding this show, or into my DM over on Instagram at whatupjeremy for your free copy. Again, just drop me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. We're growing. We almost got 1,000 of coaches all over the world who are inside of the group and get access to my weekly trainings, my insights, and things that I find helpful throughout the week that help me to grow my business and to really develop my own self and my own coaching skills and marketing skills. I share them there, and it's where you can get access to me and access to those other coaches from around the world who are just a baby step ahead of you, same step that you're at, or maybe one small step behind you. To get access, all you have to do is drop the word coach. To get access, all you have to do is drop me the word group, and I can share you an invite for how to get there, or search Leverage Coach on Facebook. Last, I'm getting a couple coaches together this week to become my next success stories. Let's start that one over. Last, become my next success story. I'm getting some coaches together this month to implement my methods for injecting 15K worth of new clients or doubling your online client roster over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But finding the right people is the most important thing to me. So this is only for you. If you're a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money, you've been coaching for at least 1 year, you'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically every month from social media without spending money on paid ads, you have at least 300 friends on a social platform, Facebook group, or email list, you're willing to take bold action because you know that your success depends upon it, and last but not least, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to find me on Instagram and message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping other coaches with this to implement my methods, and what could have the biggest and quickest impact on your online business the soonest. All you have to do is find me on Instagram at whatupjeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for today's episode of Client by Client. I'll see you guys back tomorrow with another episode. Cheers. Okay, team, I got 15 minutes, so I'm going to break my fast, get a little protein bar in, and then get geared up for my group call here in the next 15 minutes. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for leaving your honest rating and reviews over in Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It means the world. That really helps the show reach more people, helps the algorithm send us to more people who are just like you, amazing coaches who are trying to change the world. So if this show at all brought you any value and you'd love and you think that other people deserve to hear it, then be sure to give this a like or react to it, drop a comment, and be sure to subscribe over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That's it for me, team. See you guys around tomorrow. Cheers.